Good morning, friends. It is day 69 of my morning routine in 2024 with minor changes. How am I doing? I slept well. Let's start with all the good news. I slept well. According to my watch, I slept for 7 hours and I was in bed for about 7 hours and 30 minutes. Fell asleep at 9:30 and woke up at 5. I think that's a reasonably good score. When I wake up, however, just the simple act of sitting up causes me excruciating pain because of the slightly herniated neck that I am suffering from at the moment. Good news is it's getting less, the pain is getting less. Bad news is yesterday, due to some circumstances, I had to pick up my sons and rush them around. And that may have set me back 1 or 2 days in my recovery, I'm not sure. I know I shouldn't be doing that, but sometimes you have to do things as a father. But in this case, the pain now sticks to the upper part of my arm and the back of my neck and the back of my shoulder. And it's not as if someone is driving a huge spike into my back anymore. So that's good. The painkillers help better also, I believe. So how am I? I guess I am good on this Saturday morning. It is Saturday. What are your plans for the weekend? Usually I would be looking forward to going to the gym a bit later on in the morning. I don't know what today will bring. I might go to the gym because I've figured out that I can sit on a stationary cycle and bike. So outside of a morning walk, I might either do some intensity interval trainings on a bike, stationary bike, to keep that level of fitness up because that's very low impact on my body overall. But I also might not and just choose to rest because, to be very honest, this constant pain is quite debilitating, soul-crushing and demoralizing. I laugh, but that is how I feel when I wake up in the morning. It's like, oh my God, another day of this. No fun, but hey, we'll talk about it again tomorrow and hopefully it will pass sooner rather than later. Like I said, it feels like it's getting better. My plans for the weekend are to just chill, relax, and recover. To help the family recover because there's like a flu or a bug going around or whatever, and everyone seems to have caught it. So that's what we'll be doing over the weekend. What about you? What are you going to be doing over the weekend for your health and well-being? How is my fitness? Slipping, sliding? No, I'm joking. It's not been that long, but I do notice a significant difference. Hi, thanks for dropping by and watching. And leave me a comment or a question if you want to know anything about my morning routine or my health and fitness or anything else I'm doing. Because I had this big plan of working out and this strength program, muscle building program planned out for these 4 weeks, and now not having been able to continue with that, I do notice physically a difference between how much I move before and how much I'm moving right now, and that just changes how I feel predominantly, but I also start to notice it in the mirror. So there is this interesting connection between how much you move and how you use your body and how you feel and look. And looks are not the most important thing, but there is an effect obviously of working out or not working out. But how do I feel? I feel first of all like I have more energy because I'm not using as much energy in my workouts. But I also don't feel refreshed or sharp or focused. So there's something about working out, sorry, bit of pain there. Something about working out and then feeling good about the workout, but feeling good overall about the day. Mood enhancing, I guess I'd call it. So my mood's kind of, it's all right, trying to keep in good spirits, but I'd love to get back to some vigorous workouts. So do I miss my training? Yes, I miss my training. But luckily there are other things that I can spend my time on to distract myself. I saw this interesting podcast or video about whole foods versus processed foods. I was on the podcast, I think, Diary of a CEO. And this gentleman he was interviewing, they were talking about the health effects and the effects on your weight, whether you eat processed foods or whole foods, and they were talking specifically about ultra-processed foods, and the effect those have on your gut microbiome, but also just on your overall health and well-being. Well, the interesting thing was they apparently did a research study where they fed people the same amount of calories. Half of the participants were given ultra-processed food that was made very appealing and palatable, and half of the participants were given whole foods that were made appealing and palatable, both in the same quantities, right? So the same amount of calories available. I think 5,000 was the number they mentioned per day. That's a lot of calories. Like if you're going to eat 5,000 calories a day, you're going to be eating a lot, I guess, except if it's chocolate or peanut butter. So the thing is, when they did this test, what happened was that the people who were eating whole foods in those quantities seemed to lose a kilo over the first 2 weeks of the study, I believe. And the people on the ultra-processed foods gained weight, a kilo. Like there was this, they showed this graph that just split over time, grew wider and wider apart. And I thought that was absolutely fascinating. I know there's a lot that's being said about, well, mind what you eat and be careful. But I think we're at least starting to learn, or I'm reading and hearing a lot about this idea that most of the packaged foods or the ultra-processed foods that we are eating are actually detrimental to our health and our health goals. That doesn't mean you shouldn't eat any processed foods. For example, I have a lactose intolerance, so sometimes an Oreo is a great treat because it's more or less the safest treat, kind of like flavor bomb that I can have. Not that Oreos taste a lot like anything, but they have that super sweetness that you can't really get from anything else. It's not bad to have something like that once in a while, like 10% of your diet, but the more your diet shifts to this ultra-processed food, things that come out of cartons and boxes, the more detrimental it is for your health. I thought this was a fascinating insight when it comes to managing my overall health and well-being. Well, anyway, it's day 69, my morning routine. Thanks for dropping in and watching this chat before I go on a walk. Like I said, my neck herniation is getting better, but it's taking a long time. I don't think 7 days is, so Tuesday, that's going to be gone. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 weeks longer at this rate. But that's completely fine, like we have time. I just need to figure out what I'm going to be doing for my health and well-being, since I won't be able to do anything that puts any strain or pressure on my vertebrae until, first of all, the pain subsides, and two, we believe that it is safe to do so again, because I won't want to suffer this condition for an extended period of time. So right now I'm going to go for a walk. And then hopefully I will have a chance to go to the gym and sit on a stationary bike and do a HIIT session biking, so that I can at least keep my cardiovascular health up. But weightlifting and everything, I know you might think, well, you can do squats. I can do air squats, but I can't physically hold up a weight or put anything on my neck or anything, or they would become slightly one-sided. So there are some challenges there, but let's see where this takes us. It's a discovery, right? I think the most important thing is to just keep doing something every day, like I'm doing right now. And today is day 69. And like I always say, wherever you are, friend, you're good just the way you are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow.